doesn't hit any bindings, it's hard for Guma to follow up or set up headshots.
Oh, Canyon could be in trouble here, though. Cosmic Binding does come down. They get the W pretty early as Canyon trying to work out what to do. He's very close to a wall, and that's first blood going over to Ruler. Canyon in the back of this pit, though, will be taken down by Zeka in the meantime, and he bounces over the wall and is going to be able to keep himself safe. Delight, though, may not be as lucky as the flash follow is a little late from Duro as the chains are going to get... She has to be able to buy them, otherwise it doesn't work.
Now she's broken!
Yeah, it's just not very fair. As Canyon going to walk on over, it is going to be HLE securing the first grub. But there's an ult in from the Neferi. Delight does set up the magical journey, does take it in the end, and it looks like it is going to be a 1-2 as far as the grubs are concerned. Zeus actually taking a lot of damage towards his top side, though, as he walks forward towards Keen. Keen going for that lethal tempo variant of the Gnar as well, doing a lot of damage here as Duro seeing whether Kanavi wants to fight for this one, and in a rare moment...
Lose this dragon here. It looks like. I don't think they can contest this. And Gen.G are still in the lead, but plays like that can really even up your bottom lane.
Yeah, gets them back into the lane is what it feels like, as well as...
Oh,
the second
Ruler!
rock. And he
put another gun in your backpack and it makes your gun better or something.
Ah, that's how it works. It's all right. Chovy is put into the Cataclysm here, but there is a Tibbers in there as well. Dash Cannon comes forward. Zeka does a lot of damage. Not quite enough. But the Herald is going to be thrown down in mid lane to take down that first turret of the game. And Gen.G very passively moved to almost a 3,000 gold lead. As I say passively, there's the doggos coming out. Thank you, Baha, man, for that beautiful for the last 17 minutes.
No, they really haven't.
And Kanavi, yeah, just gives Zeus some time to take down the top outer to get closer to equalizing the turret take. But Gen.G just doing their very best to systematically remove the structures from the rift. And this will open up the bottom side of the map as well. And with Mountain
Tricky for HLE, but I don't think they can give this up. Zeus is preparing to teleport in. There it is, right into the front line.
Yep. Let's see whether this is going to be Zeus finding an angle to get an ult off, get a few knock-ups as Mega Gnar for Keen is pretty early as he throws the house around. Zeus in that front line as they do manage to get a Tempered Fate onto one, but the follow-up isn't quite there because Keen is running amok. And now the train's going to come on through. Tried to sidestep it, did Chovy, and he just gets bounced on. Flashes out of the way, though, and keeps himself alive. Keen may not be so lucky as the flash forward comes in from Zeus. Ruler sets up the ultimate, though, and takes down Kanavi. And now Canyon goes in, gets two already, but he will be taken down. Somehow, Gen.G actually come out on top as far as the kills, but the health bars looking way better for Hanwha Life Esports.
Chovy escapes and is now going to head back to this fight as well. Actually, even playing a near perfect game from behind. Like every choice they've made, like they're camping in the bottom lane, the pressure on
Caitlyn certainly able to utilize these three very effectively as Ruler going to get caught by the Tempered Fate. Let's see whether Gen.G can make this one work, because in goes Zeus, there's a Cataclysm, and down will go the Jin. Canyon now in a bit of trouble, has to flash out of the way, but Zeka shows up. Chovy's able to get himself out of the ulti, though, pretty comfortably, and now Duro trying to CC Kanavi. Tibbers gets out of there, and the Magical Journey is going to get HLE out of the scrap as well, as Kanavi was looking very, very low, but they walk away with that one kill. Looks like Gen.G are not done yet, though, as there's a great knock-up onto Duro, and he's going to explode. Zeka takes that kill down. And finally, HLE win themselves a convincing fight.
A little greedy there from Gen.G at the end. Hanwha Life is likely to go over. I mean, Canyon could try to look for the steal here, but they're going to say no.
Yeah, a lot of damage available here for Zeka as well, so he can't really face check. The Baron is down to about 6,000, and Delight taking a lot of damage here from Keen, charging up that Narbar as well, as Gen.G do not want to give this one up without a fight. Keen goes in, there's the ulti from Zeus, so fantastic. Canyon steals away the Baron and kills Zeka! Oh man! They're going to have to play together on the national team after this! Oh, that's so unfair!
Oh my
Canyon
God.
is just going to steal the game back for Gen.G.
Oh man, that press D on the way.
He was barely in range!
Yeah, it's crazy. It doesn't even look like he's in range in the replay.
Oh my goodness. Well, now Keen and Chovy are throwing some abilities at Zeus, building up that damage taken number, as Keen is not afraid of anything at all. As Zeka is going to be taken down, Chovy is the one that locks up the kill. In the meantime, Canyon is just killing Kanavi, getting him out of his own jungle. And yeah, Zeus, I mean, he's still taking a fair bit of damage here, but HLE are just getting corralled.
And I think that, like the rest of this game has been, it's just like another moment where HLE's almost got it, but can't quite. Like all the escaping Gen.G members they've almost killed. Sure, this time they finally kill Ruler. They get the catch onto Duro. but they can't get the Baron, and it feels like they're just they're playing well. They're making the right decision. So I guess we'll just blame. Like,
I mean, really it didn't look like he was in range to me.
No, I mean, like, I really think we can't criticize HLE too much. We just have to celebrate Gen.G in this one. 4.4K ahead as they go in.
Yep. That is a decent number for Keen, but he's going to, oh, never mind, he's killed by the Cataclysm and not able to get any value at all in this fight. Gen.G may just have to get out of here. Tempered Fate onto 2, though. They're not going to have the option. Flash out from Ruler, but Duro is dead. And HLE are angry, and they are going to be able to deny the soul from Gen.G.
They deny the soul, and they cut the gold lead in half. Bit of a sloppy setup there for Gen.G as they just kind of push into the jungle. And there's so much burst here, even with the lead they have, even with the Mountain Soul point they have. It's not a Mountain Soul, as Ruler is just getting run down.
Oh,
Aurora going to TP on him. I think he's just dead.
Yeah, Ruler is the Jin trying to hurt a Scion, and that is just never going to happen. Over comes Gumayushi to take him out. And Gen.G
this
just
point
onward, and it doesn't even really matter how much armor
he
you
is
get to build, and no one's really building all that much of it. As Keen is going to jump on top of Delight. Yeah, he takes about 50% of his health bar. There's the rest of it as, okay, Tempered Fates himself as Zeka. Oh dear, not actually going to find the angle to get himself in, so it's just the Bard dying for free. And Zeka has to ult to get to safety. The curtains are being called though. 1 bullet. Is that going to be enough here? And I think it just may be. As Canyon comes on over and is able to lock down the kill. And now it's HLE's turn to just fall apart at the seams.
Now, 1 bullet's enough to get the slow, to get the follow-up. And once again, Canyon just deletes the Aurora. As Guma hasn't died this game, he's pumped massive damage, but everything is falling apart around him right now as here comes the Scion focus.
Oh dear, well, it's going to take about 15 minutes to take him down. Now, well-calibrated boss fight there as Zeus is able to get himself out, and Kanavi as well is able to get over the wall, but the inner turret not going to be...
pick, like if they can kill anybody, I think their front to back is insane at this point. The Caitlyn is so huge. Oh, this could be the pick.
Yeah, Ruler is very, very dead. The question is, can Gen.G do anything about it? And the answer is absolutely not. As the Tempered Fate was on a blast cone.
Damage was done to the HLE members, but this time it's just straight up. They're all full health.
As well, off to the side, but Canyon still unseen.
He has popped an elixir. He is so tanky right now.
Yep, he is an absolute monster. As there's Chovy getting engaged on, flashes out of the Cataclysm, but he's still taking so much damage. Juro wants to try and help him, but I don't think Chovy's making it out of this one. Finds the Incinerate stun, but Kanavi's there with the Q to take him down, and now the Tempered Fate going to be avoided. No, Canyon actually in the GA, and now comes back up to die. Ruler tries to get out of the way of Zeus, but we know how this one goes. It's real difficult to escape this Scion, as Kanavi is chasing after them. Finally, he's able to get aggressive. And he does flag and drag forward, but Gen.G, they get underneath their turret. We'll see whether this is actually enough to keep them safe, though. Because HLE are kind of immune to damage.
I think
HLE is in the front line.
I think they just end here. There's just not enough to deal with them anymore. They need Chovy. Ruler's not going to be able to get it done by himself here. They try to thin the wave. That's their best chance.
Yep, they need to try and deal with these minions. So the first Nexus turret is going to go down, though, as Keen pulling the wave as best he can. He does have that Nabar building, as now Gumayushi needs to be careful. He's got a GA, but he is not immortal. At least Delight stands in front of him, avoids that deadly flourish damage. So the game isn't over just yet.
Chovy's going to respawn. HLE need to get out of here ASAP.
Yeah, the Dragon is still up and available. There's a deadly flourish, as now Chovy looks to try and get on top of Zeus. Man, he is booking it with those upgraded Swifties.
What a game we have here. Now, HLE are going to go back to this Dragon here. They have that super minion push wave in the mid lane, and even though they're a little bit bruised, they are able to go over here and secure this without a contest. Canyon so close.
Yeah.
And he catch Zeka with Keen's help.
Yeah, Keen gets that boomerang down. There's a deadly flourish. The ulti comes forward. Zeka is likely to die to the bleed and will go down to the Nefiri. And the curtains have been called on Delight as well. HLE now so incredibly low as they look to make their way out. And Canyon, oh, you cannot overextend on this one, though, buddy. This could be scary, as Keen is inside the enemy base. I guess he is not afraid of anything at all as he gets in front of the trained as Canyon. And Zeus taking a lot of damage here. We've been saying it all game, but that is continuing to be true, as Keen, a very angry Nah, now turns Mega, but takes so much damage, and the Cataclysm going to take him down. The Scion's also dead, though, as the rest of Gen.G are getting down to business. Yeah. They deal with the top inhibitor turret. They get the inhibitor as well, and now it's Gen.G that moved the needle back in their direction. This is the closest game we've had all season, I swear.
I just want to see, just like give both teams, like we should...
A little bit earlier on, so HLE getting themselves a little bit more gold back in their pockets. But 1 minute's time on this
Ruler not again.
And Ruler is able to walk out of the way of the spot there, as it's a lot of damage. And the Cataclysm avoided by Ruler, though, very nicely, and he hits that first bullet. Second goes wide, third hits home, and Kanavi almost down to the GA already as the interruption from Zeus just puts him down. Now Keen looking to make his way, and Kanavi still extraordinarily low with that GA in hand as Ruler gets put in between the worlds. But Zeka's unable to finish him off. The flash forward from Chovy gets the stun. There's the follow-up. Boom goes the Dynamite, and down will go the Aurora. It's in trade for Keen, though, so a 1-for-1 here at 40 minutes into the game, and Gumayushi, he gets the snipe, gets the GA under Canyon, who then goes untargetable, tries to get away, but Guma's got the bullets, and he takes him down. No smite for Gen.G, no hope for the Baron.
And Zeus has TP, he's able to get straight back into this mid lane. I think Gen.G could have slowed this down. Instead, Canyon tries to go in here, Keen tries to follow, and Kanavi... on him. I want to see those resistances. I want to see that armor. He wants to end the game right now, though. He's going to charge into this turret, or try to.
Yeah, didn't quite, he got there a little early, but Chovy is splitting on the bottom side of the map as well. They will be able to take down this inhibitor very quickly, though. And with the Baron, I mean, they can move over towards this mid lane at the same time. As two inhibs now down, there is a wave now crashed on the bottom inhib turret. So, I mean, they're not going to be taking three, but these Nexus turrets are not long for the world. And, I mean, Gumayushi's got all of his items. This guy hits for about 1 trillion with every auto attack. And there is the Tempered Fate, actually buys Gen.G some time, but now if they just let Guma hit this Nexus, they will just lose the game, and Gen.G do that right now. Game number 1 goes to HLE, and they just would not be silenced.
Absolute banger game here. Their depth of play.
Now Kanavi is looking to go aggressive here towards this bottom side. No vision available for Gen.G as Ruler gets pulverized. Delight makes his way in. Let's see whether Kanavi can get the pillar down. That's a good one. Flashes in looking for Ruler. And he does have barrier. Let's see whether it keeps him alive. The answer is no. Piercing darkness from Gumayushi.
Forward, and it's perfect.
Pole flash gorgeously played there for Delight. As in the meantime, we've got even more action. Ruler doesn't have his flash still, remember, as Emilio just gets slammed between a pillar and a wall. Still, they're focused on this Lucian, wanting to take down Ruler. Kanavi possibly going to overextend for this one, as Ruler is taking a lot of damage. Gets another dash finally, as now Delight could be in trouble, but Zeka shows up as well, and Canyon has to flash to get himself out of the way, then goes back in. Not sure about that one, but Chovy's able to lock down the kill. He doesn't have Spirit Rush, though, and oh, that was a pillar and a half from Kanavi, and the Maiden getting involved as well. This Yorick counter pick is definitely working out here for Keen.
Absolutely, and they need it to, because everything else is kind of on fire right now.
Oh yeah, as we've got some mad pings coming on through.
Yeah, Realm Warp. Keen may be in trouble.
He certainly is. Let's see whether he can help himself out of this situation. There are no teleports available for anyone, but he does have a Ghoulie Wall. And Keen is just trying to play some alcove gaming. He flashes in, he looks for Zeus, the ghouls get mad, and he's now trying to keep himself alive again. Zeka as well finds another Q, and I think he's out of there. I think he just won a 1v2.
He actually wants to go back in.
Oh,
he's
God.
Crazy.
Yeah, he calls some mist, and there is the Maiden getting upset one more time.
Chovy's
and the rest of Gen.G are going to show up. Oh, thank you, Keen, for a potential game 3.
My God, what a just set of plays from Gen.G. Keen just walks.
He was so important
the whole while. Like, they're just coming up. They're showing up. Sidestep is real, like you said, and end up getting 2 kills for the Ahri.
Well, speaking of the Ahri, actually down here for this potential dive, as that charm was fantastic. Kanavi wastes a fair bit of time. They take down the Lucian, but already Gumayushi cannot tank up this turret anymore, and Chovy looking for the angle. Not able to get in there, though, as the Spirit Rush has run out. So 1-for-1. And Kanavi now setting up for a potential dive. Has Delight
Someone's
here as
coming
well.
up,
all right, let's see. The rest of the cavalry have showed up, but there is the Dawning Shadow. And it's Gumayushi that's able to help them lock this one down. Gen.G just a little bit late to the play, as the charm is going to connect onto Delight. But it is not going to be enough. Now Ruler, top lane. Let's see whether that's going to work out, as he will be able to just throw down the ulti first. The charm's going to get flashed. But I don't think Zeus is out of the woods just yet. Throws in the equalizer as Keen has to flash out of the way of the turret. He's the one that takes down the kill onto the Rumble, and Gen.G barely get out alive.
Yeah, but so much money's going over to Zeka. Like, I don't think this... and I think it's going to be won by HLE, but I actually... Nope, never mind. Yeah, it's Yorick.
You're going to be able to take it?
And so they do end up getting that one, which is really huge for them as well. This Yorick is that side lane threat we talked about now. And he probably doesn't need help anymore. Plates going over to Chovy. There is a teleport here for Zeus, but if he TPs in, he's going to be in trouble. Look at Canyon just kind of camping this.
Yeah.
Zeus is wise to it, but
still, he's going to get the cease and desist down. Let's see whether Chovy can get in here with the damage. Absolutely he can, as the Dawning Shadow is unfortunately a little kind of there with him. As Kanavi able to escape the Ghoulie Wall, but he will be able to get the smite off onto this Crab. Ruler gets interrupted, now looking for an angle towards Goomer as in goes Canyon one more time. Delight gets the ult down, and now where's the Pulverize going to land? Onto 2, as now Chovy looking for the angle. There's an equalizer. Could be in a better position, but isn't too bad as Delight is the first to go down. Kanavi, though, is going ballistic in that backline, but does have to flash to get out of the way. Canyon is going to get roasted, though, but Keen going ballistic will get taken out, though, by Zeus. And Zeka now flashing on top of Chovy. He has to flash away. And Duro, oh no, this is not the adventure the Melio was looking for. Has to flash away himself.
For the third dragon here, HLE have sole point if they can take this fight.
Well, they do have Goomer walking from base. Can affect the fight in 6 seconds with the ulti. As Melio is in a lot of trouble. Duro's just going to get eaten. That is going to be Canyon locking down the dragon, but can they get themselves out of this pit? That's the question as Kanavi rotates over. He's spotted as Ruler. Yeah, you're not getting out of that pit as now the equalizer comes down. Canyon, he's pretty famous. He walks the red carpet to his demise. And it's Goomer that snipes down the Vi in the end. That was first light on the third day, Wolf. That's what that was. That was gorgeous.
Yes.
I've just been referencing.
No, you've been doing great.
Zeka's going to get hit by a Q here. Keen doing a fair bit of work. Does land another one. And, yeah, unfortunately cannot interrupt the Realm Warp. So
he's just a Realm Warp guy right now. It's fine. He'll be relevant later. Amount of damage. Well, 2, because Zeka isn't really doing it yet, but he will. Given time, as he will be the prio target here.
Yeah, let's see whether the rest of the team can actually get there in time. That's the question, as the Charm is going to connect. Dawning Shadow comes through yet again, as Chovy will be able to find it, but Zeus gets there in time, and Canyon is likely, oh, never mind, the Flame Spitter wears off, and now Chovy a little bit early on the dash, and he's straight into the equalizer. Duro is able to keep him alive, though, and Keen shows up, and he is an absolute menace. The flash in, and he just massacres Goomer. And now Zeus is going to silence himself, and Delight doesn't, he just can't be in melee range, because Keen will just get all of his health back. Kanavi will show up, though, and I think that will be the end of this Yorick eventually, as Zeus will finally take him down.
All right, Canyon is maybe going to have to drop this Herald. This Ruler is pushing in. Zeko's going to get out because he's got Crushers, right? He's got the shield. He's got...
Oh, we had to come back for something. I'm not entirely sure what it was. There it is. It's Zeka dying again. Hit by a charm. Ah, Vi Ari. It's a pretty good combo, isn't it?
Yes, it is working pretty well.
The entire game, and then lost to him in the last team fight. I don't think they can ignore him in this one, as Drake going to be up in 7 seconds time, but we have another Pulverize here from Delight. He's put into the Ghoulie Wall as Keen looking to try and take him down. The Unbreakable Will is pretty good as Chovy just skirting the outskirts of this fight. Equalizer not doing a massive amount of work here as Ruler still at full health. But the rest of Gen.G not looking so hot. Delight has to go back home, though. This might be the angle for Gen.G to look for this dragon and even out the scoreline there.
It's really hard to fight this with Guma having really no front line. Oh
dear, actually interrupts, finds the charm. Kanavi sniped, and that will guarantee the dragon.
Sometimes Chovy just says, I'm taking this game in my hands.
What did we say?
I'm taking it back.
The very beginning of the day, yeah, let's see. There is no equalizer, which is a big tool in this moment, as Zeus looking to get into that backline. They find the charm, but it's not onto the target that they were looking for. It's now Chovy dashing around the battlefield. Zeus is going to die, and this Ari is picking up all of the resets. Dash counter with the charm. It's going to go wide. Gumayushi's still at full health, and he needs to hit those Qs, Chovy. And Gen.G are going to have to back away. I don't think he's going to be saving this. Crystalline Overgrowth built up.
The Vi,
this turret going down.
The Vi Ari is so powerful, so potent, and so threatening. And even
There's so much setup, though, for HLE. Now, finally, things are getting cleared out, but it is dangerous. The Maiden going to face check, and she is going to be taken out. As Chovy looks for the angle, gets a nice charm, and the Culling going to help out, taking out Zeus. He does get the equalizer in, but it's not a whole lot of value, and now Delight in amongst it, gets the Pulverize onto 2. Ruler is delivered, but the charm again from Chovy as he dances around the fight, takes down Zeka, and now Gumayushi being chased out by Keen. He brings down the shovel, and will be able to deal with this center. It is a clean fight for Gen.G as they wipe the floor with him.
Fine time here. If they can get an inhibitor, feel much better about their chances of closing this game out. I mean, they are in a massive gold lead. This Ahri, it could not be more fed.
Yeah, well, Kanavi going to be able to sidestep the charm. And let's see whether Chovy has to use the ult. He does, gets over the wall, deals with the traffic cone there as well. As now Delight going to have to get out of there. The charm is going to miss, has the ghost. So gets himself out of the way of that one. But in the meantime, GenG will destroy the inhibitor turret in the bottom lane.
They cannot quite get the inhibitor. Would have been massive if they could.
Oh, Keen being so annoying at this stage of the game as well. As the game goes on, right, he's got 3 items now. This Yorick,
you know, in this situation, he just gets the turret as, you know, GenG forced the play there, tried to look for the pick. And Chovy once again pillared.
Yeah, there's the charge up as they do get in on top of Kanavi. Dawning Shadow comes down though, and they just kill him. GenG were aware of this play, but they thought that they could outplay it. Now Canyon has to flash to get out of this one. Does have the Vault Breaker, and Keen is able to at least potentially save the Vi. Gets over the wall, Mega Cone, and he's out of there. But they've killed the Ahri. That has taken so much of the wind out of their sails as, oh, Ruler gets the pick onto Guma. Kanavi gets wiped out, and Ruler hadn't been doing anything all game long, and he may have just saved it back again for GenG after they lost their hero. Oh man, that must have felt cathartic for the guy picked on all game.
What a just sudden way for this game to end. Like, it looked like maybe HLE had gotten something back there. Maybe it looked like they set the trap, and that was actually going to be them getting back control, and the wind was out of the sails of GenG, and the scaling was just going to hit on the resets and respawns, but instead they just get their necks snapped by Hide on Bush.
Yep. And what, Chovy for Nexus is going to be the trade, I guess? And I mean, he had a bounty on him. Maybe it's close to worth it. It's more than 50 gold, but this should deliver us to 3 games. As Zeka does finally break that arm guard, so does Zeus, but he's in the ghoulie wall and in the death chamber thereafter as the Nexus is exposed. Decent pulverize there from Delight, but I don't think they're surviving this. And GenG will deliver us to the full series as Chovy respawns, gets a Quadra, and takes over the game.
What a game from Chovy. Can't let Zeus have the minions. He kills Zeus if Zeus tries to get the minions.
And Kanavi can't have level 6.
Yeah, he can't.
Canyon hits it himself and pulls the red buff into the brush as now Keen comes over, finds the condemn stun. There's the silver bolts as well.
Exhaust.
And the exhaust is down. Zeka gonna have to flash to get over this wall, and now Keen could be in a little bit of trouble. Chovy though moving in. There's the heroic entrance, gets the knock up onto Kanavi. The kickback from Canyon as the shockwave comes in. Is it gonna be enough? And it is. Zeus locks down the Lee Sin. And now Keen trying to deal with this crocodile, and it ain't gonna work. A double kill, but he will go down. And Chovy getting chased down. The clockwork windup is working, and the flash needs to be used. 2 for 2 as both teams are on the board.
Yeah, really even exchange here between these as we have a fight down here on the bottom side as well, going the way of GenG, but Guma gets his ult.
Yeah, let's see whether the Featherstorm is going to work out here. The flash forward from Gumayushi and goes backwards, but then lands on the grand entrance. Duro with the sick outplay, and Ruler gonna get the passive. That's the double, and GenG really turn it on its head and claim the lead.
The second damage early in a comp like this where you want to try to snowball things. You have the scaling Sivir, right, but you do want to get to the mid game where you can actually fight into Renekton, Pantheon, Orianna as fast as possible.
Pull into the top lane and look to try and get Gumayushi back into a good position. Flash down once again for Zeka as Ruler just having the best time ever here in this bottom lane as Grand Entrance is going to connect onto only Zeus. Duro able to get himself out of there with the Battle Dance as well as somehow that Sonic Wave missed onto Kanavi.
Ruler's gold lead is exploding while he gets free time with that turret in the bottom side, by the way. He is getting huge.
Not to mention the experience lead as well. Every wave is going just to him.
Yeah, he is starting to become a big problem. He's a full level up on Guma right now. And HLE just trying to pull the trigger.
Yeah, there's the flash quickness to come in. He charms up 3 people. Heroic entrance comes down, but it's interrupted. Gumayushi now in so much trouble though as Keen takes him out. And now he gets to go ballistic. Double kill for the Vayne. Finds the other one as it's a triple for Keen. Zeka gets taken out as Canyon snipes him, and Zeus has lost all of his friends, and he just gets punched by a gargoyle. And look at Ruler just emoting by himself in the bottom lane.
Might have just been that ace emote coming through, Atlas.
All right, well, Canyon looking for an angle here. Let's see whether he finds it. There's the kick flash, and Zeka gonna get taken down. Shockwave comes in and doesn't really do anything at all. There is the Canyon Lee Sin that we know.
Clean about the safeguard approach. It's just fairly, he makes it look like it's basic as hell.
Yeah.
He stood there, but
I mean, we've seen the things that Canyon has done. If you've watched the recent LoL Esports video about the best Lee Sin plays of all time, we all knew what play #1 was going to be when we loaded up that video. And Canyon, like, they missed even one of the best parts.
Glory.
So Ox and I were watching it, and we had this theory that they left it out on purpose to bait comments. Now, Keen is going to get CC'd. Kanavi is also in a little bit of trouble here as Ruler takes him down. Keen lasted a lot longer than I was expecting, but it's actually Gumayusi that locks down that kill. Chovy turns up here in this bottom lane and then walks away.
Chovy basically just showing up here to make sure that Ruler can keep pushing mid, I guess.
Yeah, no, he's like, I need to take his body. So he just is allowed to go past, but isn't actually
of
able
any HLE players. It's just the lead here has snowballed so incredibly well. I think the 4-man top play was absolutely not it.
Yeah,
and
I think that is lost in the game, and sometimes you make one mistake against Gen.G, and the game is kind of
I mean, there were some
over.
small things that, you know, they could have done.
Yeah.
You're like, I really was attached to that turret, so it's where we won the big thing that won the game. It was like a really big moment for me. I don't want to let it, just don't be a hoarder, Gen.G, just let it go.
Yeah, bounties come in and on a soul point. And they have positional advantage here, but there are wards sneakily hidden around this pit. And so Gen.G do know what's going on. Duro in a weird flank angle, looking for Zeus as the Strybreaker does go wide. Canyon looking to try and get himself in there, and he steals away the dragon. The grand entrance is so good as the quickness charms them all up, and the kick. Oh, Canyon, you absolute gem, as Gen.G will slam their wallets down, and really not going to get picked here as Delight doesn't quite find the anchor. But HLE are just circling the drain. I was going to say slowly circling the drain, but it's actually starting to up the pace right now.
And uncontested. So many things went wrong for HLE this game. They just didn't even get to play League of Legends.
Well, now on the hunt, going to get popped, and that is just a broken inhibitor turret. Gumayusi taking so much damage as Keen just tumbles away from the anchor. Kanavi trying to deal with this push in the mid lane as well as Chovy and Canyon getting some work done. Canyon hits a Q, doesn't go back in, and they'll take the inhibitor. Zeka looking for a little bit of an orb. That is a really beautiful little animation.
This is we're getting to the Willy Wonka. You know, I pull this one out every now and then where he's
qualified EWC as well, and they have all been involved in the 2 best of 3s that we've had so far in the LCK.
Yes.
So we will be able to watch even more of these 3 squads, including T1, as now the engage onto Chovy as the double taunt does come in. Delight is going to go down, and there's a kickback onto Guma. He does get the Feather Storm, but Duro obviously CCs the whole team, and that is going to be curtains for HLE. Zeus takes a little while to kill, but now the victory march comes in, and Gen.G, they secure the ace, and they'll secure revenge here the second time they face off against HLE.
HLE's first place spot being challenged here by Gen.G in a big way, and what was a phenomenal series. But unfortunately for HLE, a very weak final game where Gen.G just stomp all over them.